Hey you guys, so hopefully you don't mind hearing the dogs chew and drink them, slurp up their water. They're making all kinds of noise right now, but I'm a busy girl, so here we go. The joy of domination. Woo! Okay, so let's see, where should I start? Last night, okay, so the past few nights I was getting away with like buying a bottle of wine for my husband, having it there. He was like, oh, thank you, it was such a long day, blah, blah, blah. I have a glass, go to bed. Okay, so all that was good. Then I did it too many nights in a row, and he was like, did you ask me to get this bottle of wine and you're already drinking it before I got home? Whew. So he had that glass of wine, and then he brought that rod upstairs, and he he went to town. I got it. It wasn't playtime. It was smack smack. For real smack smack. I was like, oh my gosh, no. And he's like, I thought we've had this talk, and all this and that. And I was like, so yeah, I got it. I got it good. So, and on top of that, I have no car today. So I am making do with whatever I have at home, which is totally fine. So, yeah, I was a naughty girl. So anyway, and then last night, after he put it down, he fell asleep with his hand on one ass cheek, and my ass is on fire. So, and then he's just holding on to it. And I'm like, oh, God. But I loved it. I didn't love it, but I loved it. And I was just glad. I was happy. I was like, you know what? Daddy's right. I wasn't supposed to. I'm getting back into bad habits. That's what he was concerned about. So, anyways, that was last night. And then today, he's like, all right, he got up early, has some things to do. And he's like, let's go take a nap. I'm like, okay, Daddy, let's go take a nap. So I'm resting with him. I'm falling asleep. I'm dreaming. Next thing you know, I'm on my side, and he's kneeling up against me and just going to town. I mean, just like, oh, that Daddy did not come to make sweet love today. It was wow, for quite a while. And then, and then we just lay down and passed out together. It was fabulous. Then he had to go to work. God bless his soul. So, got up, got his stuff ready, and drilling a little bit. So anyway, it's amazing. But I was watching Mr. Vibing with Run's video. I didn't even know he did that one. Thank you. It was a great video. I loved it. I was talking about when my husband, got really upset with me, and just like the Hulk came out, and he literally like looked like he grew, like expanded in size, and his eyes were super green with tiny pupil, and it was scary. So anyway, but it made me think about the joy of domination. And I don't usually see him that way. He only shows that beast on rare occasion, which is probably a good thing. But anyway, but regardless, he's always a beast. He's always a savage. So I was just thinking about even the whole like choking thing, and it's like so many women enjoy that. And I thought, people don't really get it. Let me explain it like this, okay? My husband's say, even on top of me, oh my God, it doesn't matter whether he's behind me, on top of me, and he puts his hand here. He's so careful, and he's so delicate, and at the same time firm, and could literally just, but when he puts that pressure, and just there's a coordination between his pressure, I'll just put it like this, squeezing, and my kitty squeezing. It's just something that I noticed. I'm like, wow. So he'll contract and I contract. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know how many other women that happens to. I'm sure that's part of the thing. Like, like I was explaining, there's certain body responses, chemicals that are released, whatever, but it's like a trigger, and it's crazy. So yeah, it's just one of the things that I noticed, and I love it. And I'm like, he doesn't do it all the time. He does it when he wants to do it. But when he does, whew, it's just like a connection from here to there. So that's wild. But, and even with like hair pulling, he's gentle, but then he's rough, and all of that. It's like a perfect, I don't want to say give and take, but giving force and then taking it away, being rough and then being gentle. I don't know. I'm like, how do you know these things? But anyway, maybe some of it's just instinct. I'm not sure, but it's amazing. And we love it. I love it. And it could be even just we're out somewhere in public. I've told you guys before, he's giving me smacks on my bottom in public. It doesn't matter. He'll put me in my place in public. It doesn't matter. And we've been around strangers, people we know. It doesn't matter. And if his tone of voice that he needs to put on his big daddy voice, and he's like, you know, no, you're not doing that, so this, that, or no, that's not, blah, 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 blah. He does not, in the opposite, the antithesis of tiptoeing. He puts his foot down. He puts it down. And he's just like, no. And it's very, very clear to everyone around us. And I'm certainly, for the most part, every now and then I've been like, oh, daddy, and he's just like, nope. These dogs. Anyway, and, but what I noticed is that I don't see nobody going to lecture my husband like, oh, you shouldn't talk to her like that. And really, for the most part, women don't even come to me and say, oh, wow, he shouldn't talk to you like that. They're just like, ooh, and the guys are like, whoa. And they're just like, this man is putting his foot down. He does what he does. That's his wife. That's his family. That's his world, his realm. He's the king of his castle. They don't with him at all. And if anything, they look up to him. And that makes me proud. So I'm always proud of him when he stands up for himself, when he puts his foot down to me, anybody, no matter where we are, because more men need to see it in action. They need an example that they can follow and say, wow, okay, if he could do it, I could do it too. And, God. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he takes the car away today, if I got spankings last night that actually hurt. My ass hurt all day today. I was sitting down. I was like, and it's a little reminder. And I'm like, yeah, I was bad. Okay, I took it too far. I don't want to do that again for a long time. So, I giggle about it, but that was for real. That was no. And you know what? Last night, I remembered how when we first started really getting into it, and he would give me the belt or whatever, I would go look afterwards. And it's so funny because I remember when I did all my studies, I'd see women, like, there's a lot of pictures, lots of drawings and things. Women were always checking out their backside in the mirror. And I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm like, oh, we want to see the work that was done. We want to see whether it's red, whether we got a couple little bruises on our butt, whether it's marks from the rod, whatever. It's so funny, like, we want to see. And that's very interesting. Who understands the psychology of it all? I don't, and I don't really care to completely understand it. Maybe it's more of our base instincts, our animalistic instincts, like I said, women like the reminder that they are the men and that we are the women. We're the females, that we're the softer ones, that we feel safe. We feel safe with someone who's stronger than us, that's more dominant, that won't let us just run them all over the place. It's the truth. It is the absolute truth. So anyway, there's so many other examples. There's one time I was in really big trouble, and I'm trying to remember what exactly I did wrong. And I think it was drinking. I wasn't supposed to. And this was maybe a year ago, because this was bad. So my husband got like some cords, because that's, we don't necessarily take the time to bother with all the like tying up and all that stuff, right? But on this occasion he did. He found some cords and he tied my hands to each of the sides of the bed and my feet to each of the sides of the bed in the back. And I was trapped. I was stuck. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. And then he got his belt out and he made sure that I understood what the message was at that time. Yeah, I had been naughty and I can't even remember exactly what I did, but I feel like it involved money and alcohol. It could, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Either way, I did something I displeased Daddy, and he was just like, nope. Nope. And yeah, he really went to town, and my ass, oh my God, was on fire. And if I moved, uh, then I was gonna get it like on my thigh or on my hip, and ooh, that was terrible. So I was like, stay still, right, as best as possible. There have been other times that my hands are free, and I might try to put my hand back there. My hand's getting smacked. I'm like, oh no. He's like, well, don't do that then. And yeah, so anyway, and then he did make love to me while I was all tied up. My ass was sore. It was amazing. I'm just telling you the truth. It is what it is. Don't knock it till you try it. So, but he is one hard-working man, and I was saying on my little picture post thing that he's doing 40 hours this week, 40 hours next week. It's 80 hours. Am I saying that right? 40, 40. No, I'm sorry. 80 hours in 1 week, 80 hours in another week. He's just doing his thing. And, he's just working on his retirement and everything else that needs to get done. And, baby girl just graduated. We're going to have a graduation party for her. He's got a little more work to do on her cute little car. She'll be zipping back and forth to work, which is literally down this road 5 minutes away. So I can handle that. For now, I don't mind driving her at all. But we have to, let her get a little bit of knowing how to get places by herself and things like that. So, but yeah, nobody messes with daddy, and I love it. So yeah, domination is a joy, the joy of domination. It is fabulous. And again, it takes a trusting relationship. Again, I'm never worried about my actual safety, bodily harm, spanking on the butt. Oh, wow, big deal. Take my cars. Ooh, oh, wow, how terrible. It's, and loving someone since we were 14 years old is really something. You really trust that person. And, we both just turned 48, which is crazy. And I love how, you go through all different seasons in your marriage, in your relationship together. But one thing I have found is that even if things get tough, things get hard, people get stressed out, you just keep going at it and you keep doing the basic fundamentals. You might be so busy for a little while, but then a breath comes in like, and then you get back to enjoying all the things that you were doing before, or whatever, So it's just you have to go with the flow, and we have to be more flexible than they are. They have a responsibility and a duty and a burden that we can't understand. Even women that are the female breadwinners, even though they do die now at a higher rate, closer to men, because of heart disease, because they are carrying more of the stress and the burden, they still never understand the God-given burden that a man has to take care of his family. And that's why, broken homes and taking men's children away, and that's a whole nother conversation, but that's why men will unalive themselves. Yeah. Because you took away a God-given responsibility that they were meant to do, and they're fighting against forces of which they have no control over, and it's devastating. So, anywho, ladies, and if you could just understand that there are different seasons, and I hear women say, oh, he's not fulfilling my emotional needs. Okay, well, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's what you have girlfriends for. Your man is working his tail off. He's thinking of paying bills. He's thinking of saving money for what you want, your next vacation, your retirement, everything. Kids' college, kids' cars, kids' bills, dentists, blah, blah, blah. That's what his mind is focused on. And your job is just to be there, give him what he needs, recharge his battery, make him feel good, tell him what an amazing man he is, how hard he works, how proud you are of him, regardless what the circumstances are. And, just tell him how amazing he is. I'm sure you can come up with a list and tell him often. And praise him for what he does to you in the bedroom, and everywhere that you can, praise him. let him know he has all authority over you and that you belong to him, and whatever he needs, that you're going to try to do that for him. And if you are feeling emotional and weepy and whatever, call your mama. Well, don't tell her no tea though. Don't be talking about your husband or anything to her. If you want to talk about life and the kids, blah blah blah, that's one thing. Girlfriends are probably a little bit better. Just be careful. You have to have good girlfriends because they can try to turn it around on your husband and say, "Oh, your husband should help more. Your husband should do this more." And I was always very clear. It's probably why I have very few friends, but to know he works his ass off. Okay, I do. My job is the home. This is my domestic goddess responsibilities here. Okay, my husband has given me the gift of 27% of mothers get to stay home and raise their children. He's given me the gift my whole life of being in that position. So there's things that I have to do, that I want to do, and I do it joyfully, willingly, happily. It's my pleasure to serve him in any way that I can. So he already told me, what do you want for Father's Day? He's like, I don't want any gifts. I don't want any cards. I want some head in the morning. And I was like, yes, sir. That's awesome. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Love you. All right, talk to you soon. Joy of Domination. Yeah. All right, ciao.